How's everyone going? Welcome back to another video. Today we have another unboxing, as you can obviously tell by the style of what we're doing. It is something we've technically already looked at before, but with a different product number, a slightly different model, and a slightly different sector. Let's have a look at the Kato D51 once again. So yeah, how's everyone going? Welcome back to another Carriages MTMR model railway video. Today we've got as I said at the beginning, it's another Kato D51. Last time we took a look at D51 498, product number 2016-A. So this time this is the -8 model, specifically for the JR West owned D51. The model is slightly different, as we will obviously take a look. Well, it should be slightly different because the two locomotives are slightly different, but it is still a D51. So we're going to attempt a coverage of covering the D51 in both the fact that we've already covered it, and for new viewers, if you're interested to have, if you haven't seen the other video. Of course, if you also want to have a look at the other video, the link will be in the top right hand corner. Anyways, let's take a quick look around. So it's the same sort of style box as per every locomotive, most locomotives by Kato. You can see through the front. There is a piece of bubble wrap, nicely just making sure that you won't scratch the model, which is really nice. You get the side banding. So on the side you get your product number and what it is. So this is locomotive number 200. It's got a corrected version of the locomotive on the back, sort of like a a planned version, which is really nice. And of course you got your thing like that. So it's also made in Japan, which is really nice. So yeah, so this is actually built for the Yamaguchi set. So we do actually have the carriages for that as well. We bought, it was bought as a pack, and surprisingly it was actually not that much more expensive than buying just a single locomotive. So decided to go along and just get the carriages, even though I've heard word that there's some issues with the carriages. So, oh, that's what's happened. So that's a crack on the shell. So that's an unfortunate thing about it. So that's the bubble wrap, just to stop the model. So there you go. There's your model. So this little section, you can actually put it in the box for the carriages as well. It could have of course bought the locomotive with the carriages as a massive train pack, and supposedly that is the corrected version. I'm not 100% sure what is actually 100% wrong with it. I need to go and have a chat to someone about that, and if that is done before the end of this video, I will update you on that. If not, then we will have a future look at the D51, seeing that I now have, this is the second one I now own. So let's pull it out. Actually, let's not do that and just get the details out first before anything happens. You got this, your detail parts. You've got a Yamaguchi headboard, two sets of the number plates. So either you can go with the red plates or the black plates, and then a few of the knuckle style couplers, rather than the Arnold style. Repeater style, which is pre-fitted to the locomotive. Not 100% sure what else has been fitted in this pack because I can't actually see, but I think that's probably all. Yeah, and there's actually a spare repeater coupler in it as well. So I assume that may be for the front of the locomotive. So taking it out the pack, once again, your engine will come out of that nice and easily, and actually fall out pretty easily as well. Let's have a quick look at the instruction manuals. So your instructions for the D51-200 talks about the extra parts to be fitted onto the front, which is nice, and where to fit the number plates and so on, all that. So that's all pretty normal stuff for this locomotive. And of course your spare parts assembly. So also nice. You can buy pretty much all the parts that is given in this model. You can even buy the chassis. You can buy the chassis and the motors. You can, yeah. So this I'm not sure if you add everything up, whether or not it equals the same price in the model, may actually equal a bit more, but there you go. So doesn't talk about the consistors for this train, but this locomotive, but those usually come with the carriages anyways. Let's pop those away, and once again the packing is nice and easy. Just pop the locomotive out, and there we go. That's our SL Yamaguchi's D51 200 without any of its number plates fitted. So let's get nice and close up to it, and let's have a look. I can already notice a few differences with this model, and I'll try to pick some of those out. I probably won't bring the other one in just for time's sake. We may see it on the layout though. So let's go. Alright, here we go on the desk, and there we are. That's D51 200 without its number plates. Doesn't look too bad at all, I must admit. We're going to do our regular little thing again. Although we have done a D51, we are still going to do the little brief history, except we're going to have that, I think pretty sure on the first one we had something about 498. This time we're going to have something on 200. If not, we're going to add this 200 part about this locomotive. So let's have a quick spin of it first. Of course, then we'll get into the history, then we'll do a close look of the locomotive.
The D51 is a class of steam locomotive built for the Japanese government railways. 1,107 locomotives were ordered by the Ministry of Railways and were constructed between 1938 and 1944. Another 8 would later be acquired from private railways that would be consumed by the JNR at the end of the war. A further 69 units were built and exported, bringing up the manufacturing to 1,184. As the need for freight engines subsided post-war, 33 D51s were rebuilt as C61s using parts left over from the construction of the C57, creating a Hudson locomotive. The D51 was a light freight locomotive which allowed them to operate on most lines around the network. They ran until the end of steam in 1957, finishing up in the Hokkaido region. D51 200 was built in 1938 and initially allocated to Inazawa Depot. 200 would then be allocated to various depots throughout the years, but spent a lot of its time operating in the Chikoyo region. The engine was preserved in 1972 and transferred to the Umekoji Rail Museum. It was kept operational for the SL steam runs. However, in 2016 it was announced that the locomotive would return to the main line to replace C56 160 on the SL Yamaguchi. After upgrades and testing was completed, she made a triumphant return in 2017.
Alright, got in nice and close with it. Once again, being an N-gauge model is it's going to be a little bit hard to keep some of the details and making sure the camera is in focus. We'll try our best though. So let's start off from this angle, then we'll move clockwise. It will spin the table clockwise. So not too bad at all. You can see there's a lot of lining on this model. Number 200 does have a lot more lining compared to number 498. So it's got a cutout on its smoke deflectors, which makes it a little bit different, which is kind of nice to see. And it's also all been lined up as well. You can see coming towards the side, you can see all the nice little lining details on the side of the model, and all the nice little wheels. The 282 wheel arrangement, that's pretty standard. That is standard with this locomotive, of course. You have to remember that the wheel arrangement is also specifies what locomotive they've put it under. So, i.e., like in this case, the D locomotive, meaning for driving main driving wheels. C specifies for 3 driving wheels. Quite a few little separately fitted parts as well. The handrail is separately fitted, which is painted out in grey on the model, or white. Can't 100% tell what colour it is. My lights are making the colours change quite a bit, annoyingly. Got like your safety valves and stuff that are also separately fitted, which is really nice. You can of course see the hole where the number plate should be fitted, and we will of course get a number plate fitted. Unlike the other ones, and my indecisiveness doesn't actually mean anything for this because they only have one set of numbers. I just have to find out whether or not I use the red or the white ones. Sorry, black ones. You can see the little cab window has been rendered out in red, which is nice. Really makes it depicted. And you've also got the the compressor on this side. Like they're on both sides of these engines, 2 compressors on each side. Surprising amount of compressors actually. Onto the tender. It's a dual bogeyed 2 bogey tender, so it has four axles on it. Pretty standard, pretty normal style tender for a lot of locomotives. You can see we've got a whole lot of coal, fake coal fitted, and we can also see a bit of, I think, my fingerprint, which has been. So this model actually has a matte effect on the paint job compared to the more glossy effect or plasticky effect that the 498 does. So that's really nice, really nice effect actually. It's got a nice big headlight on this side. I don't know if it works. The other one didn't work, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not this one will or won't work. But there we go. We've got fake coal here. We've also got like a void just here, which is really interesting. Not 100% sure what it's about there. Is that for overfuel or something like that? But yeah, that's something with number 200. You can see right here we've got the standard Engage style coupler, which is the repeater Arnold type coupler. So nicknamed the repeater Arnold coupler. Sorry. So pretty standard. You can change it out. Should be pretty simple to change out, but that's what it comes fitted with. Inside the cab, you can see that there's not really much detail. It's pretty dark in there. It's a just molded stuff. You can see the underside of the firebox is actually rendered out in red, which is nice. And once again, you got like your little, I think, I'm not 100% sure what plates they are, maybe builder's plates or something like that on the side of the locomotive, but those have also been nicely rendered out on the side of the model. So very nice high quality paint job. Got a lot of your pipe work and stuff on this side as well. Also on the top, I think they're called dynamos. I think that's what's been fitted up to the top as well. You got your whistle also on the top on this side here, and once again we're getting to have a look at that very nice fine little linkage. There's another cutout on this side on the smoke deflector, so there we go. Definitely not bad at all. Onto the front of the locomotive, you can see we can see the chimney itself is has a smoke arrestor, has a sparks arrestor fitted, which is really interesting, different. Also really cool though, because spark arrestors are basically what they're used for is to stop the sparks and the burning ash that may come through, burning ash embers that go through the that may come out of the firebox and go through the tubes from going out of the funnel as well. In the sort of idea behind that, it's the sort of thing like with some of the harder pushing locomotives. You can see the red fire that comes out, and how that burning stuff comes off from the ground. That's the ash, so burning embers. That's actually pretty dangerous in some areas because that can set alight to some line side trees and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool that they've actually got that fitted, and it's rendered correctly in the model. Nice large headlight again on this side. Looks a bit bigger than what the other one had as well. Got a slightly different door dart design on this one. No pilot on this locomotive, so very nice looker. Definitely a nice looker, especially in this matte effect. So there we are. That's our close rotation around this locomotive. doesn't look too bad at all, you gotta say. First impressions are really nice of it, and so the details of it. From here on out, we'll go and jump onto the layout, give it a running test. So we'll go and do its running in as usual. We'll cut the layout's actually set up a little bit differently this time. It's got the ramps and stuff like as seen in the last few unboxings, because this is just off the end of that sort of thing. Although it's been a little bit of time. However, what's it called? We'll also, after we finish the running in, we will go and grab the carriages that we also got for it. As I say, I'm not 100% sure what is wrong with the carriages, whether or not they're correct or wrong or correct. But they were what was when Kato was selling it as part, in number line. So yeah, we'll give them a run with it. So let's head over to the layout. What a nice locomotive, eh? Well, here we are. Welcome back to the layout, or at least the setup, the current setup that we have at the moment. Probably been pretty known already. It should have been in the last few videos. You can see I've left it up top here. I've just had to do other things in the meantime, so just left it there. As for that, let's get it on. We're going to do it's running in 20 minutes in each direction. We're doing 20 minutes nowadays, not 30, just because I don't think there's much of a point doing 30, especially for something this small. So let's get it on. It's because of the drying wheels, I don't use a railer, re-railer for this sort of stuff. I just try to put them all on. Shouldn't be too hard. There we go. Nice. Hope it's all in frame. Just in frame. I do apologise about setting it. I wanted to set up on the flat rather than the incline. So I'll get a little roll, do a bit of a roll forward and roll back. Then, yeah. Working front headlight as usual. Pretty much operating as nicely as its counterpart from when its previous first run. No headlight on the back though, unfortunately. As nice as it would have been. I didn't really expect it. This is the third Kato steam locomotive I have, all which don't have a light on the tender. The single Tomex engine that we have does, but its headlight doesn't work very well. So never mind. Right, let's get moving. We're using a standard Kato SX power pack. It will make the motor buzz a little bit. There is a PWM, supposedly a PWM in it. I did when I was doing some reading. I'll get it going. We'll send it up up the hill. I will need to see if it's going to make it down the hill in the reverse direction before we actually do that. Otherwise, I might have to pick it up, rotate it, because some of the inclines are a bit funny on when going in the other direction. So let's go. I do apologise about my shadow as well. yeah, that's the running in now completed. I've actually stopped it up at the other platform because there's no way I can really stop that's flat and close to the other platform anymore. To the main platform, sorry. So let's set up the extra the carriages for it where I've left them, and go and hook the engine onto it. It's only 5 carriages long, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, definitely isn't running too badly. It sounds like a bit of a wheel wobble, which is kind of interesting, at least compared to the other one, but I'm not 100% sure what exactly that's from. Yeah, and that seems as expected. So I also want to check how the wheels are, because going up and down this grade may sometimes causes some stuff on the wheels, I've noticed, but hopefully it isn't too bad. So let's get setting up, and then we'll get the train moved around so that it's on the front, and then we'll come back and talk a bit. I was going to just go and get everything set up, but I just realised since we actually aren't going to have a look at this in unboxing extra, because it's not technically an extra, and it's not part of a package, because that's how we do the Japanese stuff anyways. Let's go and have a quick look at the carriages. So I've already taken the sleeve off. It does have a sleeve, so let's open it up. It's got the standard instruction manuals once again, and those are our carriages, so very nicely rendered out in the brown livery. There's a single line through that carriage. It's kind of odd because I see all the photos and some of them have all the carriage with lines and some of them just don't have any, so I'm not 100% sure which one is and is incorrect. You also get a few, these are your end markers that goes on the end of the train. And then of course you've got your extra like buffer detail, so pretty regular. So yeah, that's what comes in the pack for the carriages. It's number 1500. There is, I forgot what the number, I think it was 101499, and that's the one that comes with the 51 in the pack. So let's get the settings up. Pull up the running shots for a second. I just realised something. When we get the engine to face towards us, there's a light bleed through the number plate. I don't remember the other D51 having this problem, but yeah, so interesting. The headlight is actually, or illuminates when the number plate's supposed to be as well. Of course, this isn't a problem once you put the number plate in, but just something interesting to note. So there we go. Let's continue.
Alrighty, well there we are. I think it's probably a good time to call to some form of conclusion, shouldn't we? As we already have had a previous D51, it's kind of interesting because the ideas behind it are probably going to be sound more like a review rather than being a unboxing and final first thoughts. But we'll try to keep our thoughts based on this particular model rather than talking about number 498 over here and leave it to a future video. We'll just pull the train up so that we can have an easier chat about it. There we go. Definitely not a bad model at all. As probably more or less expected by Kato. This model is, well, it's what's it called? The first of the JR West models that we have in the fleet, the JR West steam fleet that we have in the fleet. So it's really good to finally get something more accurate to what the bullet train stuff that we run. Obviously, they don't run together. These are narrow gauge locomotives compared to the bullet trains that run on standard gauge tracks. But anyway, model is nice. Definitely a brilliant little model. Runs very nicely. It's still very weird to have the for some reason that light bleed, which definitely wasn't occurring with the other one. But that's just, there you go. Seems to be running pretty well as expected. There's definitely nothing wrong with this model compared to the comparatively. Runs nicely, runs quietly, runs slowly and nice and smoothly as well. Pulling in the wake of Carriages definitely did not have any problems at all. Went up the grades and down the grades nice and easily. So it's good to see that it's capable enough to at least haul its own rake. Colour wise, they look good. Can't really say whether or not how correct it is. I will have to leave that up to everyone else or the future review video, because obviously I will go and do my research before doing that. This is more or less just a here we go, this is what it looks like sort of video. Yeah, nothing I can really fault with it at the moment anyways. We hope that we can come back to it in the future now that we have two D51s and have a more closer look at this sort of stuff. But of course, we'll see what happens. Don't know if I'm planning to get any more D51s after this. Maybe, possibly might get some of the special versions, like with the special exhaust and so on like that, but no plans in getting any more D51s. We may have a few of the other engines though, so definitely stay tuned for more models. Not sure what we're going to next. I would like to still get a few more bullet trains, but the collection of bullet trains is slowly getting smaller, especially seeing that Kato this year brought out, at the year of filming, brought out the N700, which is basically the old version of the N700A, and because I have the A, I don't really want to have the N700, so I'm going to probably give that one a miss, but we'll see what they bring out next year. Hopefully means we might have some more bullet trains to look at in the future. If not, there's obviously always our steam locomotives, so some diesels I wouldn't mind to look at, and so on like that. Thank you for joining us for this video. Our initial scores will obviously come off at the end, and that's obviously on personal thoughts. Would love to turn the comments into a discussion. What are your thoughts? Until next time, hope you guys have enjoyed, and stay well. We'll catch you all whenever, probably in the next don't know when the schedule's changed by then, but so see you all very soon.